A few weeks ago, somebody named Edgar from a company called XClim contacted me and gave me an invention that he made, which is a headset for Nintendo Switch, which converts it into 3D experience. It's like a goggles and you put the NES Switch in it.
One second! I'm playing.
How's it going? In that product review, I mistakenly called it VR.
Do you know what virtual reality is?
So, Miscusi's, mea culpa. So it's in fact only passive 3D. A cool product. Now I'm gonna go meet with him because I wanted to interview him, not on the product per se, because like I said in the video, it's not a product I'm necessarily going to buy because we don't have a Nintendo Switch. Also, 3D stuff makes me nauseous. But his whole experience from conceiving this project to bringing it to market to Indiegogo crowdfunding, I want to get the story because I find it amazing. A while back I interviewed another inventor about his product and it's just amazing to see how innovators and inventors create things, bring them to market, and what goes on in terms of doing that.
It's half size, it's 3D printed. The soles, you want to elevate the soles to free the soles so it can dry. This is Rockabot, the signature version of it.
So you were on Dragon's Den?
Yep, they said it was a great idea. The way we position the product, it's a furniture. He asked me the question, Sebastian, are you sure you don't have an LOI from a big retailer?
Because, like everyone always says, it's good to have a nice idea. If you want to market that idea, you have to bring that idea out of your head and actually into concrete format, and to do that, it's just tremendously complicated and amazing. How's it going? So we are going to Cafe Gentili, one of my favorite coffee shops in Montreal, and I'm going to interview him and ask him a bunch of questions that he doesn't necessarily know that I'm about to ask him.
Edgar, are you going to be distracted if you see your face?
I think it's probably better. I see my face, so I try to look good.
Okay, so now sit still there, boom. Okay.
Yeah,
so let's turn it like this. Yeah. Beautiful, make sure you're in focus. Whatever. Okay, Edgar, I'm gonna ask you some questions on the product here. How did you find me to ask me to do this in the first place?
Well, we have certain steps for media and reachability. So we want the product to have as many YouTubers to test the product, to have their feedback, review, and show that to the people.
No, you stop looking at the controller. You gotta look through the video game here. There you go, here you go.
So of course we started locally in Montreal, and then afterwards we send it overseas, like Nintendo Live.
Now you're going too fast. Okay, so you sitting there one day decide there's no 3D headset for Nintendo Switch, so I'm gonna make one.
It's you know, it's a niche. It's also a need. I usually do things that I want for myself. It's quite easy to me to find things that haven't been developed yet and try to find the market. I mean, I'm not trying to disturb the market too. I'm just trying to make it even better and bring innovation. There's innovation in front of you guys.
You have this idea. You say, I'm going to adapt. First of all, how did you even know to apply the technology to the existing technology?
Okay. There is one misconception about the NS glasses. First of all, it could be VR, but we're not calling it VR yet. As soon as game developers start to put their hands in this, and Nintendo allowing them to take advantage of the hardware, because Nintendo Switch is VR capable in terms of using certain hardware like gyroscope and other sensors that are integrated, right?
No idea what he's talking about right now.
In terms of graphics performance, it's not VR capable, unfortunately. So we have to find a way to try to bring it to the market as soon as possible for you guys. So what we did is we used this kind of old technology that it's been there for quite a long time. So
and the old technology, if I'm not mistaken, like when we were kids, we used to have these hologram rulers, and when we would peel them apart, we would see that the plastic had sort of like.
That's a little bit. It's not that exactly. It's a technology that it's called bifringent lens. So what it does?
Bifringent lenses.
Yeah, bifringent lens.
Let's preface this also that Edgar is politely correcting me because I should not have referred to this as VR in my review. But I'm not a tech review guy. I'm a family guy. So apparently it's 3D and not VR. And apparently it's passive 3D and not active 3D. Anyway, there was one dude who left a comment in the comment section. It was a very thorough correction of my technically incorrect analysis of the product. But okay, sorry, carry on.
So
It looked
bifringing
3D.
works by splitting certain images and colors.
Can I have a macchiato?
Macchiato?
And one of those pastries, any pastry cut in two.
Any pastry, I'll get you a good pastry.
Okay, so it's for my kids, it's not for me. I should not have another cup of coffee, but I can't come and occupy real estate without getting coffee.
And I can't drink coffee. I'm gonna get crazy after all this.
I'm gonna hit the treadmill for 40 minutes, so it'll work its way out. Bifringent technology.
Birefringence. So it's a lens that split images and colors. So we use that technology to split and create the sense of 3D, which we call it passive 3D compared to active 3D. What this means is it creates the sense, the mimic of 3D incurring to the images. It's really fun, actually. The implementation of the coding, switching coding technology that we created is actually a liquid that selects certain colors to be popped even more. As an example, let me give you a brief example so you guys understand the technology. A landscape is comprised of trees, clouds, and the sky, right? So what we did is we selected the primary, most critical colors, like clouds. As an example, the sky is blue, so it should stay behind. So we focus now on white, which is the clouds that should pop a little bit more, right? The ground, the trees, color green should pop out even more because those are the trees, etc., etc. Certain colors. So we configure this kind of liquid to be implemented on top of the lens to try to
The
create
liquid
the
is
sense.
in between two layers of plastic?
Yeah, it's
or
like a coating.
in a coating,
Yeah.
so plastic coating and another plastic.
It's just a plastic and then the coating.
Okay, so you come up with the technology, you've patented it or you have not patented it?
We filed for patent, so it's patent pending. Yes, this is the first. We may get the patent. We don't want to focus too much on trying to get the patent. We want to get the product on everyone's hands as soon as possible.
Is it the first time you've ever applied for a patent?
No, I have applied for patents before.
Okay.
Yeah. So,
So
we have
you were
pretty
not
good
shocked.
experience.
You were not shocked about the costs that go into getting a patent or the process.
No, we have the budget to try to apply for all that.
Then we get back to this whole process. You have the idea, you start looking into the technologies, you determine a way of getting this lens to create colors to pop. You
Yeah.
then, how do you design the, I don't want to scratch this one because we need it for later, but how do you,
Brand new here.
how do you get from that now to the design?
Well, it's a long process. It all starts with the idea, and you have to have passion as well. So many people have really cool ideas, but they can't implement the first step because they just don't know how. They think this only happens in Silicon Valley, in China, etc., etc. No, it actually it's around you. You can even find this in your city, in your current city. There's a lot of design companies that can do it even for you for a certain amount of money. The idea was there, and I'm pretty good knowing certain technologies, and I'm pretty good putting certain technologies together to make cool stuff. At least for me. Some other people don't think this is cool, but I think it's really cool. Maybe you watching probably think it's cool. So the next step is, after putting all those together and having a concept, a proof of concept, you create a prototype. I remember my first prototype was made of carton.
Sorry, slow down, Phil. Proof of concept. I've heard that term before, but for those who have never heard of it, what does it mean?
Proof of concept, you have to prove that it works. So that means you build it and then you show it, or else it's not even patentable.
You have one, call it a prototype, which shows that the system works.
Exactly. Before you waste a lot of money, you have to make sure that it really works the way you think it works, the way you wanted it to work. So what I build is just, I grab pieces of carton, I set up the lens, and I started to figure out the certain liquids that are currently in existence. The implementation is not in existence, so that's why we were able to patent it. I put it all together. It turns out that it looked really bad at the beginning, but it was working out. So I put all my engineers together to try to work it out, to make it even better. We make a mock-up thing, some kind of second prototype, and it worked out beautifully. Then we kind of perfected the technology little by little.
And now, bearing in mind, you know that I am both a lawyer and neurotic.
Yeah.
You're working with engineers, they have to have the plans. How do you know that whoever you're talking to is not just going to steal the idea and run with it?
Oh no, they have pretty good, strong agreements, and usually they are pretty good people. After we get the working prototypes, we get a certain amount of people, we show it to them, and we ask them if they like it. We kind of go to the next step to prove the market. If the market is really ready for it, before you go to the second step of trying not to waste a lot of money, because maybe you like it, maybe your team like it because they like you or something like that. Then you have to bring people that don't know anything about VR or know about VR and then you told them, hey, there's a headset, you have a Nintendo Switch? Yes, I have a Nintendo Switch. What do you think about this product? Oh, it's cool. Oh, it's not cool. Then it's not cool. You know what? We just put it outside. We invent something, other stuff that are cool, right? The cool thing about Indiegogo is that it's a really cool marketing tool, and it's also a way to collect pre-orders. And it's an opportunity for many companies to make their products viable and convenient and plus survivable. You know, there's a lot of good heart people on Indiegogo and Kickstarter on crowdfunding sites that they're willing to help you just to bring that product to the market, and that's something that it's really valuable.
Indiegogo campaign, you started on Friday, your target was 10,000 and you hit that from what I saw within 24 hours?
Yeah, yes. There's a lot of people interested in it.
Okay, so now concretely then, you are now receiving pre-orders.
Yeah.
What's the time frame to have the units delivered to the people who place pre-orders?
So in the meantime, you're watching this video, you're probably watching it in 2019. Forget about it, skip this video. You're watching it right now, let's say today, whatever date it is. We are delivering the product on December 27th at max, probably before, since we already have set up manufacture and everything. So it's just pretty easy to have it delivered on December 27th. That's our promised delivery date, and we can hit that for sure. Yeah.
It's amazing. And now you're going to have to go overseas, have these manufactured, assembled, shipped. And you, do you have a person overseas that takes care of this?
Yeah, that's kind of the pain here. I have a really cool colleague in China right now. He's setting up a campaign there, let's say. He's setting up everything up. He set up a warehouse. We partner with EMS, with ePacket, and we choose the eExpress, Packet Express option so that we can get the product as soon as possible with maximum lead time of about 5 to 7 business days.
Too technical.
Right now it's $50 on Indiegogo, 50% off, and after it's going to be retail price for $100. So I think you guys, yeah, US dollars. Okay. So I think you guys should take advantage and get your 50% off right now on Indiegogo. Right.
And now the obvious question that anybody who's ever seen any litigation is going to be asking themselves: are you not worried that someone in China is just going to knock this off? Once this hits the market, someone's going to take it, try to knock it off, and try to underprice you by $10.
Well, there's a law, you know. And I don't mean a law, the kind of lawyer thing that I'm sure you know more than me. There's a law on the market that says don't fight the copies, or else you're just going to waste money and time, right? If there's a copy, that means the world likes your product, right? And if there's a company watching this video right now, if you want a cheap license from us, give us a call, we start business, no problem.
I always say in litigation, you're better off, whatever you think you're going to throw at trying to enforce IP violations overseas, invest in market share, because market share is more important than preventing copies by and large.
Oh yeah. Yeah, you waste a lot of money trying to prevent copies, especially from China. Even though we protect we file a patent even in China, the time that takes the patent to be filed and approved, there will be already a lot of copies, and that's good, you know. People will buy them for cheap. They may have bad quality, but the important thing here is try to be the first, and that's what we are doing at Exclaim. We are being the first. We are getting the market. We are doing our branding. The customers will already rely on us to bring them a reliable product. So that's the kind of value, right? Those products trying to buy a copy for a cheaper price, they will think it twice. They'll still come with that.
Okay, what else? Any other questions? Do you think I have anything else?
I don't know.
I think anybody now who has an idea will know what is involved in bringing an idea from your head onto the table into a box.
Right.
It's cool. I mean, it's amazing. I told this to Edgar when we spoke over the phone. When I was a kid, I used to have ideas, and there was something called Inventors Hotline that George Foreman, for anyone who's old enough to remember this, George Foreman used to be the spokesperson for this Inventors Anonymous or Inventors Hotline, whatever. It seems that whenever I have an invention, it's already been invented like 2,000 years ago. Edgar?
Yes.
Godspeed. Let's see how this thing does.
I think there's a lot of inventors and that just don't know how to start or how to give the first step. We need a lot of we need a lot of inventors right now in the world to make innovation and this life better, to make humanity even better. So if you're an inventor, just keep the first step.
Edgar, thank you.
Right.
You all know what to do. Like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Ooh, the pastries here. Thank you very much. And peace out.
No, you stop looking at the controller. You gotta look through the video game here. There you go, here you go.